About a week ago I rode an Akatarawa Alpha 1 for the first time, and if you've seen that video you'll know I got pretty excited about what it can do in powder and was in serious danger of becoming a true fanboy. 1 week later I got to ride two Alpha 165s on a bigger hill, one of them the same sled as last time and another fresh out of the box. I wanted to see if my first impressions still apply. So what I've got is some general mucking about in powder, some side hilling, directly comparing the Alpha 1 with my 2016 M8. I've got some slow speed carving. I measured up those skinny Alpha running boards and compared them to the M8 and G4. Got another look at the skid, snowpacking. I also took my Skidoo G4 165 out for a quick play while the Alpha was still fresh in my mind, because I had a theory that the G4 and the Alpha are like separate evolutionary pathways that have ended up with the same adaptation, and I had another theory that was complete bullshit, but anyway, I wanted to try it out. And after digging out the Skidoo, I heard the sound of harpsichords and angels from the Alpha 1. Alpha 1 for the second time confirmed that this thing eats powder. No change in my initial impression that the Alpha 1 is amazingly easy and stable to ride in power. But I'm still learning to trust the back because it's so grippy and steery at the same time. People say it's tippy, and I guess it is, but it doesn't feel wobbly tippy. And what I like most about it is once you tip it over, it stays there. I love the feeling that when you lean into a turn and lay it over, it's going to make it. Just think tighter and it gets tighter. It's uncomplicated. Stay on the throttle, look where you want to go, and it just goes there. Now I've spent a bit more time on the Alpha 1, I've noticed the CTEC 800 more. I don't think it's spectacular like the Do 850, which has got outrageous torque from like 0 revs. But the CTEC is definitely better than the old 800 Suzuki and the M8, and I think it's easier to ride the CTEC smoothly than it is the Do 850. My theory is that the power comes in so immediately with the Do 850 that unless you're really subtle on the throttle, it seems like you need to keep feeding power in and taking it out just to avoid having the sled rip your arms off. But that's probably bullshit too, because I spent the morning on the Do today and I guess I'd recalibrated my thumb because I love that throttle. And please don't get me wrong about the CTEC, it pulls like hell. Now, I was riding them back to back today, and apart from the low end torque of the 850, the main difference is probably just the can on the 850. It makes such a cool sound, you feel like you're going faster. Hey, one thing about the Alpha is it's really easy to put on edge. Just the merest hint of counter steer and weight change and up she goes. In slow speed carving, the Alpha is very easy to tip, balance and turn, but this riding is all standing normally astride the seat, setting myself a mental obstacle course around the trees, and I've got to say I love it. For me, this is a key difference with the G4 because the Skidoo just doesn't sit as quietly on its edge. In deep powder I don't really notice it, but in shallower snow, or hard snow or cut up snow it's kind of a pain. Anyway, the Alpha 1 doesn't do that, and it's really comfortable doing this kind of stuff. Here's the Do going through similar tight terrain this morning, and the interesting thing is that I always thought the Skidoo was the sled for tight trees and the Cat for big open powder, but now the Alpha 1 is even better than the Do in the tight. And on the Alpha, most of the time you're in your regular stance either side of the seat, but for my ability anyway, on Do I'm more often having to skip over the wrong foot. Comparing the M8 back to back with the Alpha 1 really showed the difference. I could do it on the M8 and a better rider than me probably wouldn't notice the difference so much, but the Alpha is so easy. And remember, the Alpha is a 165 and the 2016 M8 is a 155, so I think the all or nothing engine power in the M8 is part of the reason it's harder to do this kind of riding on the old M8. Me being a moron is another part. But I dumped the M8 far more often than I ever lost the Alpha, even though I'm laying the Alpha over further and more often. It just lets you do it. I did manage to fall off the Alpha, hitting a buried tree stump, but I didn't mind because one thing I didn't expect to find comparing the Alpha 1 with the M8 is that side hilling doesn't feel much different to me, at least in the terrain I've ridden so far. I think the Cat has always been good sideways, and I still can't quite figure out why it should help having the Alpha track conform to the angle of the snow rather than cutting a sharper step into it. Anyway, seems to work. The Do comes at it a different way with the T-motion. There's my evolution callback. But lots of Do owners lock that out because they don't like it, so beats me. So about that electric start, it's a kit you can buy from out at Cat, and the guy said it was a complete ass to fit. He reckons 10 hours to tailor-make battery mounts and heat shields and muck around with the wiring. But he's a retired mechanic and he likes messing with stuff. Basically, he says the starter mode is easy, the wiring's a bitch, and the battery placement was a nightmare. But that's because he didn't order the new seat and battery box. Instead, he paired up two smaller batteries and put one on the left side under the clutch and the other one right above the ECU. When he's replaced the muffler with something smaller and lighter, but not louder, he's going to remount a single battery in the space he creates right there. The main thing is it works. Just press the button. Hear that out of Cat? Just press the button. And hey, check out the skid again. There's no snow. No snow on the skid. When I first rode the Alpha, the running boards felt narrow as hell, but this time I didn't notice them. Your foot falls naturally onto the grippy outside edge. I never felt the need for any more board. I did measure them up though. The Alpha's about 120 mil on the right and barely 100 on the left. The M8's about 140 both sides. And the Do is open but has a width of about 160 mil at its most forward position. I'm starting to think Do's got it right with the open foot approach. Fit a toe hold and you're good to go. On the Cats, more important than footbox size is the snow clearance. I've cut all the holes on my M8 larger and improved clearance a lot. The hole on the Alpha is tiny and packs with snow. If I owned one, I'd be hacking that out bigger. I could go on way more about these two great sleds, the Summit 850 and the Alpha 1, but out riding today everyone was asking me to pick a winner, so yeah, I'll pick a winner. But I know that with the level of sleds made by Polaris, Yamaha and all your makers today, it still comes down to the rider. If you ain't doing it, doesn't matter what you buy. So all I can really talk about is the sled that feels right for me. And the Summit is incredible. Fitting the Fox Evo 3 shocks has massively improved the handling, and I love that motor. All the other stuff on the Do is cool too. Like today I noticed that selecting reverse on the Do is unbelievably quick. Way quicker than the Cats. I don't know how they do it. I suppose it's something to do with the grunty electronics wired in for the shot system. But whatever the reason, it's really cool. Once you get in the groove with the Summit, it does pretty much anything I want it to. And I found that the answer to most questions on the Do is to crack the throttle open. My dog also tells me the Do smells really good. But there's something about the steering on the Do that bugs me. Deep even powder, no problem. But when you transition from hard snow to soft, or run over tracks, or have to hold a line on a narrow forest road, the Do wants to come back up. With the M8 and the Alpha 1, I feel I can ride through anything, and it will hold a line. The main thing about the Alpha 1 is that just by borrowing one a couple of times, it's expanded what I can do on a sled. And that seems to be a common opinion. A snowbiker I rode with today, he rode sleds for years before getting a bike. He took the Summit for a ride and came back bamboozled. He just could not balance a turn. Then he got on the Alpha, also for the first time, and he came back raving about how amazing it was. So that's the clincher. With the Alpha 1 I get the do's, lightness, maneuverability and general playfulness, but with a solid front end and that crazy new skid that absolutely rules the powder. Yep, for me, the new cat comes out on top. 2 super sleds. I'm not selling the Summit, but I'm seriously thinking about getting an Alpha 1. I can't believe I just said that.